Hello, everyone. Good day and welcome again once more to a Winning Wednesday with One Global Movement, Building Hopes and Dreams, where we have agreed, and not even just being agreed, we agree with the one that created us that we are going to serve children, women, young people with a focus on women. But of course, when you help this population, you're helping every family. And this is so important. This is so noble because we are blessed and highly favored that God created us and assigned us to do these things, beginning with ourselves and our home and our own children. So thank you guys so much. I know that Mr. Ashmufara is on and it's so important. And no worries. Do what you can do. If you want to attend, you attend. I know that some people like to multitask, but we need to pay attention to him. But then we cannot stop One Global Movement, because when you stop, these children that are beginning to show trust in what we are doing here, they will be afraid to even do it again if we just keep. And so it's so important that we come here and do what we are doing. So thank you again so much for what you're doing. I know that a lot of people are doing things in their own homes, in their own communities, whether it is national or international. They're doing things. People are doing things. And let us continue to do it, because the scripture says that what the locust ate or took away from us, God can take it and turn it around in 1 second and we'll get everything. It's not just what you lost or the money that you lose in trying to do a business or maybe something, but it means everything holistically. God can do that. And let us keep believing and believing with action, and let us keep doing whatever it takes to do at least one little thing every day. If it is say, I love you, you do it. If it is to give somebody a hug, you do it. Those are the basic necessities. If it's to give a glass of water for somebody who visits you, or maybe you buy 12 bottles of water, a dozen, and take it to somebody, or you go around. There are a lot of places in your community, or you can create one yourself where you come maybe once a week or once a month and really feed this population, and which you are cooking from your heart, really cooking from your heart, putting all your soul in it so that you can share with people, is what we should be doing. And I tell you, the reward that comes with that is unimaginable and is immeasurable. So let us continue to do it. Thank you again. Thank you, Sister Yvonne, for always being here to support and to do the best that you want to do with your expertise and your experience for our children and families. And I want to thank the audience. Nancy, thank you. Thank you to Abdul Satal. And I know that it's few because of our meeting with our CEO, which is okay. That is so important. Very, very important. So thank you guys so much. Today is Wednesday, April 16, One Global Movement Revolution Part 326. Resilient Leadership. Thriving despite obstacles and setbacks. We've been talking about resilience all through, because we all are born out of resilience. A mother that is pregnant and give birth to a baby had to become a very resilient mother. Otherwise, giving birth is not that easy, because I've been there too. So resilient leadership is very important. So today, we're going to pray about, our prayer is going to be based on street children. And it was, I think it was last week, there was the International Day of Street Children. The foundation, the nonprofit that I'm supporting, the Abandoned Children in Liberia, the leader there reminded me, I had forgotten. So I had to quickly jump online and went into YouTube and did what I did. And I'm really happy that he reminded me, because as we go about, we see a lot of street children everywhere. They are begging, they are sleeping under the bridges, they have to fight, sometimes fighting on the streets for food, fighting for their lives. And sometimes not just children, we see children and their families, the mother and the father, they are right there. Even in the so-called richest richest areas of the world, we see them. And a lot of us, we just walk past by or we just drive past by and kind of just eye them as though they don't belong. But what we forget to know is that these street children, these street families are so resilient. How many of us can support living on the street for one single day, even just for 1 hour? How many of us? And we need to support them because they are not just street children, they are children with talent. It takes talent to be able to survive on the street. It takes talent to be able to craft a speech or something that you're going to say to somebody in order for that person to help you. So let us look at them as children that have talents, but they need an environment in which they can thrive. So I did that. If you go to our YouTube channel, you will see that there. So street children are not broken. They are bold with love, learning, and opportunity. They can rewrite their story from survival to significance and rooted in the heart of one global movement mission to bring hope, healing, and horror and honor, and honor to children, women, and young people worldwide, especially the abandoned, neglected, and forgotten of the world. This prayer includes scriptures that reflect God's promises to these precious children and families. So one global movement meets them. And so let us do whatever you can and do this together. You can open your eyes, you can do whatever, do it in your own way, your own culture. So, from survivor to significance, Heavenly Father, you are the defender of the weak, the shelter for the homeless, and the restorer of all things. Today, Father, we lift up every street child around the world, the abandoned, the voiceless, the unseen. We declare that they are not broken, but bold, created in your image with divine purpose and eternal worth. You said in your word, Father, in Psalm 27:10, that when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me and pick me up. And you said in Psalm 113:7-8, that he raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He sits them with princes. I will not leave you as orphans, declared the Lord. I will come to you. Lord, come now to the streets and alleys to the corners of cities and villages, and wrap your arms around these bold souls. Crown them with the mantle of hope, O God, and let them know they are not forgotten. We pray that through one global movement, you will release love that heals wounds no one else can see. Love, learning that unlocks destinies once buried by despair. Opportunities that transform lives from survival to eternal significance caused by senseless wars, divisions, hatred. Lord, heal them. Let every street child be infused with supernatural courage, clothed in dignity, and guided by your spirit. May their dreams rise like dawn over the ashes of yesterday. Turn their scars, Lord, into stars that shines across villages and nations. Let homes rise from hovels. Let classrooms replace corners. Let purpose replace pain. May generational chains of poverty, hunger, and illiteracy be broken, and may these children become prophets, Lord, protectors, and pioneers of a new world filled with divine justice and mercy. It is in my hands and your hands, and it's in the hands of other young people to make this happen. Father, release destiny helpers, divine sponsors, and loving families through one global movement. Raise up ambassadors, volunteers, and leaders who see with your eyes and serve with your heart. We declare, Lord, these children will write new stories. They will not just survive, They will soar like the eagle. They will not be statistics. They will be solutions in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus, Lord, who said, "Let the little children come to me." We believe it is done, it is done, and it is done. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sister. Wonderful.
Yes, the stage is all yours, sister. This is your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So today, as usual, we are going to go ahead and say why we are here. That is our vision and mission statement. And as you just mentioned, children, whether they're considered street children or whatever, they are precious living treasures that are not our possessions, but they do require our loving, intentional, and empowering stewardship on their way to serve the world with purpose and integrity. The vision and mission statement of One Global Movement, we call OGM for short. One Global Movement will support any organization, group, or individual that aligns with its global vision and mission, which is as follows. The mission of One Global Movement is to empower young people, children, and women worldwide with a focus on young women, providing them with tools and sustainable solutions that will help them eradicate hunger, illiteracy, and poverty, build generational wealth while living a life of leadership and purpose. We believe that every child deserves access to nutritious food, quality education, and opportunities to thrive. Through global collaborative efforts, innovative programs, and community engagement programs, we strive to break the cycle of hunger, illiteracy, poverty, and build a future where every child can build on their hopes and dreams while reaching their full potential. Together, through divine intervention, love, and clean, safe, and valuable technology, we can create a world where no child goes to bed hungry, no child is denied an education, and no child is limited to poverty or any other condition that is not of their own making. It is possible. Our gratitude and tribute always goes to our CEO for bringing this world family together for the purpose of providing solutions to all sectors of the global economy, beginning with our children. We thank him and his well chosen building team. We love you all and wish you eventual success. And
Thank you.
that is the vision and mission of One Global Movement. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I think I will just go right into my topic as well, sister.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the topic, as you said, is resilient leadership, thriving despite obstacles and setbacks. Today's discussion is not only about successful leaders, though, it's about successful people. Because ultimately, we are all leaders, even if we only lead one ourselves. We've all faced setbacks. We've all had those moments where we thought, this is it. This is where it all falls apart. Maybe it was a project gone wrong, a missed opportunity, or a personal challenge that seemed insurmountable. But what separates those who crumble from those who rise is resilience, the ability to bounce back. Think of it like this. Imagine a mighty oak tree, strong, rooted, seemingly invincible. But even the oak faces storms, fierce winds, and torrential rains. What makes it stand tall? It's not that the oak avoids the storms, but how it responds to them. It bends, it yields, but it doesn't break. And that is resilience. Resilient leadership isn't about pretending that everything is perfect. It is about acknowledging the challenges, learning from them, and moving forward with renewed strength. As Brene Brown so eloquently puts it, vulnerability is not winning or losing, it's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. So I would like to share some key aspects of resilient leadership. One is embracing failure as a leadership opportunity. We often fear failure, see it as a dead end, but brilliant and resilient leaders understand that failure is a stepping stone. As Thomas Edison famously said, I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that it won't work. 10,000 ways. I mean, I have to say that again. Which
Wow.
one of us have ever done that? 10,000 ways. And now we have the light bulb. What we wouldn't have had it It's
Yep.
about having that growth mindset, understanding that setbacks are not reflections of our worth, but opportunities for growth.
Yep.
And then there's building strong support system. If Sister Melanie was here, she's always making sure I know that no man is an island. We need collaboration. We need to work together. We
Yep.
need team. No one can navigate challenges alone. Resilient leaders cultivate strong networks of support, mentors, and trusted advisors. It's about building a team of like minded individuals who have each other's back and
Mm-hmm.
being able to lean on them when needed. And then there's maintaining a positive outlook. This isn't about blind optimism, but about finding the silver lining even in the darkest cloud. It's about having the ability to reframe negative situations and find the positive. And then there's adapting and innovating. The world is constantly changing, in case you haven't noticed. It's
Yep.
changing so fast sometimes we can't even believe it. And resilient leaders must be adaptable. They're willing to what you call pivoting. They have to pivot, turn quickly, to try new approaches and to embrace innovation. It's
Mm-hmm.
being able to look at the problem from multiple angles and be ready to change course. And then the most important one of all, though, is practicing self care. Resilience isn't just about external strength, it's also about internal fortitude. Resilient leaders prioritize their well being, taking care of their physical and mental health. This means setting boundaries, managing stress, and practicing mindfulness, which is living in the moment, being grateful for where you are. Let me tell you a short story. As a small business owner who had just started his business and all of his inventory destroyed in a flood, he could have given up, but he did not. He reached out to his community. He found storage for what was left of his inventory, and he used social media to raise funds. He rebuilt his business stronger than before, and that is resilient leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Resilience is not an innate trait. You can't be resilient unless you've been tried or tested. It's a skill that is developed through testing, trials, and setback. It requires practice, self awareness, and a willingness to learn and to grow.
Mm-hmm.
We touched on the core of resilience, but let's paint a more vivid picture. Resilient leadership isn't just a theoretical concept, it's a living, breathing practice, a daily commitment to navigating the unpredictable currents of life and work. Unpredictable, we cannot control everything.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a tightrope walker suspended high above. They face the constant threat of imbalance, but they don't just rely on luck, they cultivate balance, focus, and a deep understanding of their own capabilities. That's what resilient leaders do. They cultivate internal and external resources needed to maintain equilibrium in the face of adversity. So, in conclusion, resilient leadership is not about avoiding the storms of life, it's about learning to dance in the rain. It's about facing challenges with courage, grace, and unwavering determination. We've all heard the stories of the well known models of resilient leaders like Nelson Mandela, my daughter Malala Yousafzai. They demonstrate the ability to bounce back from adversity and maintain well being. They often exhibit traits such as empathy,
Yes.
connection, self efficacy, and authenticity, as well as a willingness to learn and adapt. These leaders inspire us to persevere through challenges and achieve ambitious goals. But I would like to share a short story of a new lesser known resilient leader of a young woman in Guatemala. Her name is Gloria. She grew up without a father, and she had a mother who was unable to care for her because she herself, the mother, had been so badly abused by her own mother, and this is now generational abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Gloria says she raised her younger siblings on her own. She started working when she was 7 years old. She said, the woman I worked for beat me, but I never reported her because I thought it was normal.
Oh.
As a young woman, I always felt physically unwell. And I now realize that my past traumas gave me physical symptoms, of course.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 22, I finally went to a doctor. And at the clinic, I learned about Akachi. And I won't even go into the Spanish name because it's long. But anyways, there she met a group of midwives who offer professional training and teach people about women's human rights. And
Mm-hmm.
then her friend encouraged her to go for the training as a midwife. And I was terrified because I had no formal education. But I'd always dreamed of becoming a nurse. So I went for the training. And since that, I've gone to many more. Today, Gloria uses her nursing and midwifery skills to provide health services and raise awareness about women's rights in her community. She continues to up her game. And she says, I also talk to abusive husbands about women's rights, and I've seen men change their behavior little by little. That's a resilient leader. Thank you, sister.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I really love that because a lot
Thank
of
you.
times people we look at resilient from a different perspective. I love it when you say, "Let us learn to dance in the wind,"
In the
but you
rain.
cannot be blown away by any kind of wind in life. You have to pick and choose which
Yes.
wind you want it to blow you away. And
Yes.
remember the whispers of the wind. When you
Yes.
focus on what you want, that is
Yes.
how it carries you because it's a vibration. And I would say,
Absolutely.
let us also learn to dance in the rain because
Yes.
sometimes there is the common saying that sometimes it pours, it doesn't just rain. But in that pouring is there for a reason. Sometimes
Mhm.
it might hurt a little, and which it does because all of us have pain of one kind or the other, without any exception. That is just the way it is because you have to be able to embrace that pain, find a pattern in that pain that will propel you to where you want to go. Because in that present moment, that is where you learn a lot of things that
Yes.
will propel you forward. This is very, very important. So I love the way that you talk about this resilient leadership and you quote a lot of people in the world. How about our parents? I always
Yes.
go back to my grandmother and
There
my
you go.
mother, whose only weapon was her tears, prayers, and hard work. That's
I know.
all. She didn't know how to speak, but my grandmother was all rounded. She was so
Mhm.
resilient that she was ready to give up her life in order to save mine and my brothers, especially me. So we have them even here. Look at what we are doing here.
I
We've been
know.
put together by our CEO, and we were happy that by now things will have been going rosy, but they are not. But
Mhm.
we are
I
determined
know.
to work the course. We are determined to take the process because it is in the journey that you learn a lot and you enjoy the most. We're not just
Yes.
only looking at the destination. What if you don't get to the destination? But what you do right now and you do it
Yes.
best will be your own
Yes.
destination. And that entails resilient leadership. So,
Yes.
resilient leadership is the heartbeat of one global movement.
It
Otherwise,
is.
you won't be here. The
Mhm.
audience supporting us won't be here. The managing director will not be on Nancy and everybody because we are so determined and resilient in this. You're going through a lot. Like me, I go through a lot, but I know and I understand full well that those are the things that I expected, and those are the things that are going to build me up and build a one global movement up. And I am ready. You know,
Yes.
if it doesn't work today, it's going to work tomorrow. That
Yes.
resilient leadership. And so, resilient leadership is the heartbeat of one global movement where children, women, and young people are not defined by their struggles. They're
Dear
not
God.
defined by their struggles,
They're
just like
not.
us, but they are refined, really refined by these struggles. We rise
Yes.
not because it's easy. No, there's no easy thing, easy come, easy go, but
Yes.
because hope is heavier than any hardship. When you have that hope, it is so huge than any hardship. We lead with love, fight with faith, and thrive with purpose. No matter the storm, no matter what comes our way, we
True.
become though so resilient that nothing, even when you send that vibration into the atmosphere, things begin to open up for you. And I'm going through that again and again, even today,
Mhm.
coming here. So, uh, thriving despite obstacles and setback means having the strength, emotional intelligence, and unwavering purpose to continue leading and inspiring yourself always first,
Yes.
others, even in the face of adversity, even in the face of hatred, even in the face of oppression, no matter what it is, even in the face of you're sick, you have to get out of that bed. You can't just resign yourself and confine to the bed unless you can not do it. If you cannot do it, you ask for help, okay?
Yes.
And even the
Yes.
loving ones around you don't know that, oh, she's not been like this, she's not like this, or he's not like this. It therefore means that we need help. That's resilient leadership, you
It
know,
is.
even in the face of adversity, failures, because we're trying to normalize failure here in one global movement because a lot of our kids, they look low on themselves and is sometimes depending on what we the parents we tell them, or we're trying to make corrections, we do in such a way that we are looking low on them. Even in school, they will tell a child that you're not fit to do this, or you're not built this way, you're not smart. No. But when they say that, you take it upon yourself as a challenge and say, you know what? I am going to do this. And guess what? When you do that, things begin to fall in place and you come out as a strong, powerful, resilient leader in the world. This is what Malila, that you just said, did. Malila did not care. She went ahead. And me, myself, some people would tell me it's stubborn, but I'm not stubborn, but I'm being very resilient and determined that, you know what? God has given us everything. Why can't I get this? Why do I have to depend on somebody's telling that, no, this is not meant for you? You see, when you put that armor and you anchor it to the one that created you, nothing can be above you. You become a resilient. And most of the leaders, good leaders in the world, they came out of resilience. They
Sure.
came out. You talk about Nelson Mandela. You talk about Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We see
Mm-hmm.
them all the time. Resilient leadership. Even Mrs. Obama, Michelle Obama.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I really read about her a lot because
Mm-hmm.
also came out of resilience. Imagine the resilience of oppression, segregation, and all of those things. Do you know how people can build themselves so powerful just out of this kind of thing? It is not just about surviving through tough time. It's about rising through them,
Yep.
learning from them, and using them as fuel, as
Yep.
stepping stones to become even more impactful and visionary. You know,
That's right. That's
sometimes,
right.
and it is true, not even sometimes, the greatest defeat you can give somebody is not to show a physical prowess or your physical strength of fight. It's not
Yeah.
with the barrel of the gun or the sword. Is not throwing
It's
harsh
not.
words
It's
or
not.
all of
No,
those
it's
things.
not.
It is really succeeding with a landslide victory by being resilient to focus and take action on the things that matter, just like we are
True.
doing here. So,
True.
so
Very true.
now, here in One Global Movement, we begin to ask, how can we teach these children? Like you just enumerated those points there, which are so powerful. How can we teach children and young people and women? How can we teach families to become resilient leaders? So we have to try. I know sometimes it's difficult. We have to turn our pain into purpose. We must take your pain. Don't waste it. That pain, God allow it for you to go through that, not to be wasted. Take it, start turning it into purpose little by little. You will realize that it will help you, and then it will also enable you to help others. So One Global Movement walks alongside those who have been silenced by poverty, silenced by hunger, and and illiteracy, and shows them that they are not victims but victors in the making. You are in the making. You're not done, because we will
Yes.
constantly do things. Resilient leadership transforms scars into stars and broken dreams into bridges of hope. And leading by example, we're not just going to be talking. You have to really walk the talk. And children understand a lot when they see you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to children day and night, they don't see you doing it. Something within them will say, but how come he is not,
Mm-hmm.
how come she's not doing it, but she wants me to do it? So they will,
Exactly.
and it's a natural tendency for them to question things, just like you and I. So
Yep.
children, women, and young people need to see leaders who don't give up, leaders in action who rise every time they fall. One Global Movement embodies this, showing how even when systems fail you, when systems fail us, or fail to support us, or is lacking in something, we will lead anyway, because we know that even the soil, the ground upon which we walk, we can do something out of it and move on from there. We build anyway because we have been given the intelligence, the knowledge to build, to paint, to write, to say something, or to dance, or whatever. We have it all. We build anyway, and then we rise anyway, even if they shut you down one way, they shut you this way, go to the other way. go to all the ways. That it takes just one way for it to open up to you. Don't give up. Don't give up. And then empowering the powerless. What are we doing? We've been commissioned to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Feed these ones that cannot feed themselves. That take care of these little ones that are most vulnerable. Resilient means lifting others up, not putting them down. Even when you are weary, even when you're weak. When you say something good to somebody when you are weary, when you're weak, or maybe out of sickness or something, you will see that when you say, "Oh, how are you? I love you," the thing comes. Like now, I'm saying it is already getting into my system. Like, it's happening. So you experience that, but when you continue to shout or say things that are negative, it's going to affect you negatively. That is just the way things work. Resilient leadership means lifting others even when you are weary. The movement instills leadership in children, women, and youth by nurturing self belief. Believe in yourself that you were born for greatness. And this is true. We're not just saying it. Otherwise, somebody like me, I will not be here today speaking in the presence of great leaders like you guys. If I did not believe, first of all, believe in the one that created me. Believe in the one that says you were born for great things. Believe in the one that gave you dominion over everything on the surface of the earth. It's just for you to pick and choose what works for you. So, one global movement instills leadership in this population and education and opportunities that empower them to lead from wherever they are in the world, even if they've been told they are too poor, because people will tell you, you're too poor, you're this, or you are not enough, or you are just an ordinary person. No, tell them I am extraordinary because I was born to impact. I was born to change the world, and we have everything within us. So creating a ripple effect, sister, you just said creating a ripple effect. You're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it so that it will keep spreading out, like the little brooks that collect into the sea. The sea collects into the ocean. That's exactly
Yes.
what it is. It keeps
Yeah.
moving. So every young girl who gains confidence, every child who gets an education, every youth who finds purpose becomes a torch bearer through resilient leadership. One global movement multiplies leaders into who? Into what? Who will never want to quit. And no matter what stands in their way. We're talking about one global movement ambassadors. Do you know that those children ambassadors are something else? I'm telling you. Ha. You need to be with them. I'm telling you, they know what they are doing. Like, they've been doing this longer than you and I. What they're doing, the one global movement. And they own it, and they're talking about it. They make sure that they're watching them, and they're monitoring me, so that but Dr. Mundih changes things to 2 days. How is it that she's what is happening here? They're going to school, but they're coming up with everything. Can you imagine
Yeah.
that? And when
Yes.
we talk about resilient leadership, it has to be faith driven. You talk about that, faith driven and future focused. I'm
It
just saying
must.
my own way.
Yes.
Rooted in
Yes.
divine intervention. What we are doing here, if the creator was not there, we would not be here doing this.
No,
Rooted in
that's
divine
true.
intervention, this leadership doesn't lean on fear or
No.
faith. These things we are born with, fear, but take action anyway.
Yep.
Sometimes I am afraid, but I will say it, and I know that I make mistakes, but I know that because this is what I want to do, I'm still going to correct those mistakes and still do better. So it thrives on faith, vision. What is your vision? I know that all of us have it, otherwise we would not be here. We would not
Right.
be. And a
Mm-hmm.
relentless commitment to uplifting humanity, one smile, one voice, one soul at a time. We realize that there are so many people in our families, in our communities, that they have billions of dollars.
Yep.
And that money is sitting there. They're not using that money for the purpose of which God gave them that money to use.
Mhm.
And and
Mhm.
and I'm not saying that we need to go after people. Well, they work for
No,
the
no,
money. It doesn't
no.
matter how they work for the money, but we continue to do good with the hope that people will also learn from us and join in so that we can do this together. So resilient leadership in one global movement means we don't just fight for a better future. When we talk about fighting, me, I don't know how to fight physically. Like working, we don't just work for a better future. We become it. We become that future.
Yes.
For every child with a dream, every woman with a prayer, and every young person seeking direction in life, this leadership lights the way, even when the path is hard. It's often said, go where somebody has never gone so that when you leave a trail. Don't just leave a path.
Right.
Go. What, and this means is it interprets by meaning you were born with greatness. You were given a special gift that is meant only for you. That means you are the one to start the foundation of that and build that strong foundation and start taking it forward. And where you leave it, you leave a trail that can carry thousands of other people along with you. But it
Yes.
starts small. And when you do that, you also take rest for yourself. You also nurture yourself well, drinking lots of water, making sure that you check, you go for frequent checkup. You go, and when you're sick, don't just sit there and take things. Go diagnose yourself from the doctor, and then know what to do with yourself, right? And eat
Yep.
healthily, which is what we're trying to do with One Global Movement Garden, so that these children can be resilient ambassadors to the world. And so resilient leadership in one global movement means a lot. It means a lot. And
Yes.
resilient leadership is the heartbeat of one global movement. What else? Where children, women, and young people are not defined by their struggles, right?
That's right.
But
Right.
they are refined, they are molded by these struggles so that they can continue. It's a constant struggle until we take our last breath.
It
And when
is.
you're going to take your last breath, that's when you'll be happy. Why? Because you emptied out yourself into the universe. You
Yes.
emptied out yourself into these women and children and young people that are the most vulnerable. Because when we do this, they are the future. When they build this future, they also have us embedded in that future. And I am really just so happy. And sister, if you have anything else, you can add. Otherwise, we will
Go
appreciate.
ahead, sister. I know you want to greet the audience, but I just want to say that, you know, ideally, all these children should have us in a nice, safe space home, and we can tell them that, as you keep saying, they were born with greatness, and that would be a great start. But even children who we call street children or whatever we want to call them, they're not really that, are they? They're somebody's child, and they are still born with the same greatness that everybody else with. So just a kind word from somebody on the street, just stopping and talking. I've read so many little stories about people who said that they were on the street, especially right here, because we have a lot of homelessness here too in Toronto. Young people, teenagers, and they went back to school. They found a way. You know why? Because somebody say you can be this, or like the woman in Guatemala I'm telling you about. She's a real live person. She went to work at 7, and her mother didn't look after her, and her grandmother didn't look after her because they were all abused, so they don't know anything about it. And then she was abused by her employer and thought it was normal. Imagine,
Yep,
imagine,
yep, yep.
imagine thinking that, and yet her life twisted and turning until she eventually went to the doctor at 22 for whatever, because I guess she was in so much pain. And then at their divine appointment, she met these women who were doing midwifery, and it resonated with her because she had always dreamt of becoming a nurse.
Yes.
And there it goes. She's now impacting her community not only but on two fronts. She's helping the women to know that they have rights, and then
Mm.
she's also speaking to the men in a respectful way, because these men are machismo. You can't just run into them because this is Guatemala, they're
Mm.
Latins, and but she's seeing them change little by little, and the abuse is stopping. What greater leadership can you want? You don't have to be on the stage, and everybody doesn't have to know your name. That's a
Yep.
resilient leader. I really admire her.
Yep, yep. That is a great admiration. And as you're speaking, I'm thinking of Dr. Terarai Trent. I have her book here,
Right, I
Powerful
know.
Woman. And Oprah Winfrey really promoted her. Dr. Terrorai Trent, I think she's from, I don't know if it's Zimbabwe, I forgot the country, but she grew up knowing only abuse.
One parent. Yeah, yeah.
One, and one parent, the father was there, but the father will not take part because everything is put on the woman.
Other
So
woman, yeah.
the grandmother, or her own case is a little bit different because the grandmother will always tell her and the mother that you were created for something great. And
Wow. Wow.
Dr. Terarai Trent, by the time she was 18, I think she was already having 4 children.
I
Yes,
know.
and she was giving away just like they gave the grandmother away and gave the mother away.
Yeah,
Marriage
yeah.
very well. And by the time she was how old? Not up to 30. I think she was already having 8 children. You know, and they come so fast, and you have to do this, take care of the children, take care of
Yes.
the man. They go nothing. You know, I'm really
Yeah,
sorry to say this, but this is the reality, and it's still happening.
it
It
is happening.
happening in some part more than the other because they apply the law. That is why
Mhm.
you see some leaders now in the world, they are putting women into top positions of the nation,
Yes,
and
yes.
but some 60% or more in their cabinet are women.
Yeah,
Women.
yeah.
And because the craziness that, I'm sorry to say, the craziness that goes on around the world, a lot of time are perpetrated by the men. I'm sorry to say,
Unfortunately, yes, yes,
unfortunately. And
yes.
I know that my father too is among them, of course. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Terai Trent, all what she wanted was an education,
Mm-hmm.
and she will go and sit in places to and beg for the kids that were sent to school to teach her, just like I was doing, going to the road and say, come with me to the bush and teach me,
To teach me
so
what you learned. Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
so she did that, and very smart woman, even as she was learning how to read. So there were these missionaries that went to that country. They saw that she was so smart, she was very powerful, and and they asked her, what do you like to do in life? She says, I want an education. I want an education. That is how they brought her to the United States. She came
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for that education to get, she got the first degree, the second degree, and now she's a doctor. She
There you
writes.
go.
She is
There you-
sponsoring organizations all over the world. And
Ah, yes,
I've been trying to connect with her. I will keep trying. So it's a
yeah.
lot of successful. What about the stories that we don't know? There are a lot of stories that are not being.
Lots and lots and lots. And as I'm working here with you and doing the research, they're just coming hard and fast. And I'm thinking, these people are not well known, but they're making such an impact, sister. And that is what resilience is all about. Because as I said, resilience cannot be from cushy situations. It's testing that brings resilience and
Yeah,
overcoming. And these people, men and women, as John wants to hear, men
yeah.
and women, boys and girls,
Yes.
it's all over the globe. It's not any
Mhm.
one sector of the universe. Okay,
Yes.
it's not one part of the earth. Some
Yes.
part is more highlighted than others for whatever reasons, but everybody faces challenges to be successful. You do. You have to.
Yep.
Success is not handed to anyone just on a platter, right?
Yep. Yep. That's true. That
And
is so
those are
true.
the stories. Those are the stories that really, really,
Yeah. And we
really
need
need.
to,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
here in One Global Movement, we need to dig into those stories, those untold stories. We
yes,
can't just keep repeating the stories that the world wants us to talk about.
exactly. Change
Because
the narrative a bit.
when,
Yes,
yes, when somebody wants you to do something, they're doing it for their own benefits.
purpose
Yes.
absolutely,
And so we
absolutely.
have to go to the forgotten of the earth.
Mhm.
There are children that are impacting the world, that are living resilient lives right now. Some of those
Yes.
children, the parents died. When immediately the parents gave birth to them, they died. The mom died. And I have my cousin's children that she died very young when she was giving birth. So those stories are there. We need to bring those stories. The world is so advanced now in technology that
Oh
those things
yes. Oh
are
yes. Oh
fast
yes.
coming, just like you said, they are hard and fast coming, and we
Yes,
need
they are.
to utilize them, because so that tomorrow what we do here, we do it well with divine intervention. Now
Yes.
they get to say, "Oh, Yvonne Finn did this, Mundih did
Yeah,
this."
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
So
Yes.
we should not let other people forget about the other people that have impacted the world. We shouldn't. We should
No,
talk
we should
about
not.
them. And that is, they did it out of resilience, and they deserve at least a thank you, or may they continue to rest in peace. They deserve
Yes.
a tribute.
Yes.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
wow, I love.
Thank you, sister.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
I mean,
we
I
have a.
mean,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, but I can't get over going to work at 7. I mean, really. She said, I went to work at 7. And then not only that, but she was abused and thought it was normal. And yet here she is today,
A lot of
changing
people think that
lives.
it was normal.
Yes.
If my grandmother was not there, I would have taken it. But I did never see my grandmother live the best life. She was a queen anyway. She lived
Yes.
the very
Yes.
best life.
Thank
And
God
my
for that.
grandmother was so different, you know,
Yes.
expressing yourself the way you want. They're talking about polygamy. My grandfather had 4 wives. Some people say, hey, polygamy is practiced right here in North America. We
Of
see
course it is.
we don't talk about it. So, what is the essence? If you can agree, you bring your first wife together. We say, you know what? I want to build this kingdom. Kingship is based on a large family, and they
Mhm.
live 4 wives. When my grandfather, they live so happily. The oldest one is still there, 100 now. She's still there. My other grandmother is still there. And she just had eye surgery. The eyes are seeing even better now again. And
You know, sister, that is all about agreement, right? There's no problem if consenting adults agree to something that's not harming anybody or themselves. And
yes,
so this is not the issues that we should be, squabbling and fighting over. We should be fighting over how our children are being looked after. That is what it is, right?
yes.
Striving to make sure they're all treated well because they didn't ask to be born. We are stewards. We're stewards. We're
Yeah.
responsible for them,
Yes,
right?
but
Yeah.
and that kind of responsibility come with us, the parents, living in harmony with one another. You see that?
Absolutely.
Because if we don't,
Absolutely.
the children are going to look the other way. A lot of kids now. I feel bad because they think about, how divorce has caused a lot of harm,
It
hurt.
has. It has.
A lot of time they blame
It has.
themselves and they
Yes,
carry it
they,
on with them. But
they
a lot
do.
of times, a lot of them will learn and say, you know what? I am going to do whatever it takes to make sure that my family stays together and my children. That's a good
Mhm.
lesson to learn, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
everything is born out of resilience. It takes resilience to be able to go through courses in school and
it
to
does.
it takes a lot. So
It does.
so we thank God for this. Look at what even our CEO is doing. It takes resilient
Oh my
leadership
gosh, it
to be able to
certainly
do what
does.
he's
It
doing. Yeah.
certainly does.
So, Sir Abdul Sattar, thank you so much, sir, for your great support as always here in One Global Movement. And thank you, sister, for being with me again today. I highly appreciate you. And hello, Nancy. Thank you for always being here with us and supporting us well round. Thank you. And okay, let me see. This is our link here. Please, if you can take upon yourself to post it in all your social media handles, or you can go into your family and ask people to just like and follow us so that we can continue to build up to 10 million where we can get resources that will help a lot of children. But meanwhile, I always like to give you guys update because we don't have a website yet. The 5 Chicks per Child program is doing so well. Pretty soon they'll sell their first consignment and then they replicate it and then we'll add 7 more children to be 14. So we just keep adding, keep adding. And like I said before, if you have anybody in your community that will supervise kids to do this, really be there with the children and teaching them, because we recruited a teacher to teach these children what they're doing, how to
Mhm.
document everything. That is education. It's not just to go and read an assigned book. That is real education with skills. So you let me know. So, but we need somebody that has to be there because these kids are from 5 years to the one that we have now, 5 to 14 years, and they are doing
Okay.
it so well.
Teenagers, yes.
Yeah, please help us subscribe, share, like, turn on the notification bell, and put on your thumbs up, and share our Facebook page link so that we can have more people. Our goal is to reach 10 million, and that's not even close to the number of children that we have in the world. And
Mm.
they are born
Hmm.
every day anyway.
Everywhere, yes.
All right, the managing director is here. Hello, John. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. The Ashma Farah meeting is still on, but his finished talking. Welcome to all here on One Global Movement. Thank you, John, for letting us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's go down here. Nancy says, Wednesday is my favorite day because I listen to OGM mission statement, well interpreted, Queen Yvonne. Yes.
Thank you, sister.
And then John says, we all will thrive despite the obstacles and setbacks. That's exactly what Ash Mufara spoke of in the meeting just now. Big changes coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Praying and our fingers crossed that there will be positive changes, just like him.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy says, yes, Queen Yvonne, quitting is not in our calendar. We need to be resilient, but put our hands together to really dance in the rain.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, I love that, Nancy. And Sir Damandra Raval, how are you, sir? We miss you, but you're here today. Thank you so much for always thinking and supporting One Global Movement.
Mm-hmm.
And be resilient leaders as models for our children. Let them see us work through challenges. Yes, they have to see it. Action, action, and more action.
Yep.
And I know how to fight, Yvonne, and we will become future. We will be one way greatness, and we will educate the youth, young girls, and don't forget the boys. Yes,
Uh-huh.
you are the defender of my son. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
True, Dr. Mundih, these kids are not playing. They are following us step by step. They always have a question, why this, why that? And they believe whatever what they can do it. Okay, whatever I can do, they can do it too. Of course, they can do it even better than me. They can do it. They're doing it with innocence. Okay,
Yeah.
but we've been tinted and shifted a little bit. So that's thank you, Nancy. And Ramakanta Saho, how are you, sir? If you're new here, you're welcome to One Global Movement, where we are standing up for women, children, and young people to defeat hunger, illiteracy, and poverty. Thank you so much, sir. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you. And also like and follow our Facebook page link. Rama Kantas, and to welcome here today to One Global Movement. And please come again, like and subscribe to this channel, please. Thank you so much, John. You have the eyes to welcome these new people here. Thank you.
Yes, he does. Mm-hmm.
That's our link again, right there. Just in case you don't have it, just copy it and then you go paste it where you can share with a lot of people. You can say, I'm going to share with 10 people this week or 5 people or whatever you can. Please help these children. This is one of the most easiest and present way in which we can help. And these women that you see, even some of them in the chat and men, they are helping a lot in the background, especially to the managing director is doing a lot of background work. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Sister Yvonne, for everything you're doing off stage.
Thank you.
All right, we've come to the end, and we can go and rewatch what Mr. Ash Mufara said again and again and try to digest it. If we have any questions, then we can channel it to him when we have that opportunity to do so. So thank you guys so much. We will see again on Friday at the same time. Encourage somebody to come and get what we are doing here so that they can apply it in their family and in their community. Let us not just keep it to ourselves. So thank you guys so much. And
thank you, everyone. Thank you.
You can do the closing for us.
I just want to keep reminding us that we're all leaders and somebody is always watching us, right? And so we have a part to play and we can impact others' lives. And that's what you mentioned about the ripple effect. Make it a good one. Let people see you doing good, meaningful things, kind things, and see you overcoming challenges, which we all have them. Your children, it starts there, right, in the home. Let them, within reason, let them see that something is not right and you're going to work on it and how you solve it. Because that's how we learn. Resilience is not built in, a cushy bed somewhere. You have to be tested and try to become resilient. So let your children see that. And then we're setting up the next generation for a good impact on this world, which we need it. So thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much. Until Friday, we love you and give your family some big hugs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
We love you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.